Greetings. My name is Jose Cortina, and I'm pleased to offer this CARMA short course on Intro to Regression Analysis. I'm a professor of industrial and organizational psychology at George Mason University in Fairfax, Virginia, and at the moment I'm also president-elect of the Society for Industrial and Organizational Psychology. If you haven't had a lot of exposure to regression analysis in the past, this course will provide you with those building blocks that you need to conduct the analyses you need to conduct. If you have had this sort of material before, I assure you that my approach and the content of this class will be somewhat different. There will be a lot for you to learn. I spend a fair amount of time discussing the underpinnings of the various regression techniques that we'll cover. I also spend a lot of time discussing the pitfalls that I see researchers, even researchers publishing in top journals, falling into. Common mistakes that are avoidable, but only if you know what to watch out for. The topics to be covered in the class will be simple regression, that is, single predictor regression for a start, multiple regression, then mediation, moderated regression, moderated mediation, categorical predictors, and logistic regression. With regard to simple regression, we'll begin by describing some of the connections between the correlation that we're all familiar with and regression analysis. We'll discuss the differences between standardized and unstandardized weights and various tests of significance, really just to get us all started. Then we'll move on to what is more commonly used, multiple regression with multiple predictors. We'll discuss the meaning of partial regression coefficients. We will discuss the meaning of multiple R squared. And more than anything else, we will discuss collinearity, the effect that correlations among predictors has on multiple regression results. We'll then go on to mediation analysis. That is, models in which the effect of one variable on another is transmitted by a third variable. We'll discuss the nature of mediation models, and we'll discuss modern approaches to testing mediation, as there have been a lot of advances in the last 10 years. Then we'll move on to moderated regression analysis. We'll discuss the nature of moderated regression models. We will go into how these models are tested and how these unique multiplicative weights are interpreted. We'll then go on to moderated mediation, that is, mediation models, transmitted effect models that also contain one or more interactions. We will discuss the nature of these models. And once again, there are many modern developments in the testing of such models. We will describe these modern methods. We'll then go on to categorical predictor analysis. This is the sort of regression to which those who are unfamiliar with regression often apply analysis of variance. Analysis of variance is fine if one only has categorical predictors. If one has a combination of categorical and continuous predictors, ANOVA really isn't an option. And these models are simply handled in regression analysis. We will once again discuss how these models are set up, how they're tested, and how the output is interpreted. Finally, we'll go into logistic regression. We'll talk about when it's used. Very generally, it is used when one is analyzing a dichotomous dependent variable, such as turnover. We'll discuss the reasons that logistic regression, as opposed to ordinary least squares regression, must be used, and we'll discuss the interpretation of output. The general approach of this that I adopt in this class is part lecture and part active problem solving. I would encourage you to bring your own data for which you have some questions. I will have far more examples that we can use, but if you have your own data or your own questions, by all means bring them. Not only you, but others might learn from what it is we discover about those data. My goal for this class generally is that students understand the underpinnings of these analyses, but that they also know how to use SPSS and other tools to conduct the analyses. And it's important that they know how to attach appropriate language to the results. And finally, to know the pitfalls to avoid. There are many for every such analysis. If you take this class, I promise you will learn a lot, regardless of whether you're interested in understanding analyses or just conducting analyses or making sense of other people's analyses. You will learn what you want to learn and will have some fun at the same time. So I hope to see you in Melbourne. Have a great day.